I would like to procure the bag.
I wanna be a rich bitch. Penthouse doorman, money, 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 rich bitch. Hey, give me that bag. Rich bitch.
Yes, you're so rich.
Pay me.
Let's go. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Yay.
What a day. I've just spent the last couple minutes uploading all of the speeches to TikTok. They're going to be on TikTok. So everything we're about to talk about is going to be on our
There you
socials.
go.
So please follow us at I Want to Be a Rich Bee on the Tickety Talks as we debrief the SAG-AFTRA rally that we just came from in Times Square. What morning. Sarah, let's have your breakdown.
Wow. So I got there at 8:15. So a lot of the captains came, some didn't, but I really felt it was important, especially since, you know, it's just so important to have, we're gonna have so many people. We didn't know how many people, we had an idea, but we didn't know. And luckily, the turnout was insane. I got there and I walked into the little area to check in. Mm-hmm. And right before I checked in, I looked over on the street and there was a line of 4 people deep wrapped around to the entrance. And I was like, oh, I think I just cut in front of all of these people. I didn't realize there was a huge line. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. And
it was amazing.
And it was really incredible to watch the staff, you know, because they've been, if you think about this, we have our staff that are negotiators, they're lawyers. We have our staff that is our facilitators or secretarial staff. Shout out to Maria Cabezas, who is my favorite secretarial person, and Bernie, who's my other favorite secretary, my faves, who always are, they're great because they're always on top of getting the messaging out, the emails. They're always good at so as a committee member, also as a board member, I'm assigned certain staff members to facilitate me. So if I need to get a message or they need to tell me something, they're great. Communication staff, everybody was there at dawn, setting up, making sure everything was safe. You know, it is Times Square, you know, and also I've been there a lot this year, more than I ever have been in years. I'm like, ew, God, I hate you down there. But I get it.
Hater and lover and love to hater.
Love to know you, don't need to see you. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, but it was just so incredible. And then once it got going. I have no idea how many people attended. I don't know what they're saying on the trades and the web things, but it's got to be thousands.
I would think so. I mean, it was definitely
yeah,
it was oh my God, is there anything even on? Here we go. Times Square. Let's see.
Oh, work.
It's already up on Deadline.
Work,
which is amazing.
Love that. How many people? I had some really great pins too.
I saw one here, the Don't Fuck with Fran.
Don't Fuck with Fran was given to me by someone in LA who the Writers Guild had actually co-opted it. I love that the Writers Guild was yeah, just don't fuck with Fran. We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, for real. I'm not seeing an official estimate here. But my guess would probably be at least 1,000, if not 2.
Yeah, I would say probably closer to 2. I know that yeah, I know for a fact it has to be, because by the amount of people we checked in that were members, I think it has to be about 15 to 2, I would say.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was wild. And especially since that footprint is not big.
No, that is such a tiny little space.
It is. It's it's big when you think because it's the center of Times Square. So of course it's
right.
Big. But for a rally of this size, you know, it had to be there because that was the whole point, is that we were in front of a lot of the AMPTP companies. You know, it's literally ABC, Disney, all them are right there.
Yeah.
And we are yelling at them because
literally
of
at them.
Yeah. So I love the symbology of that. I thought that was fab.
Yeah. And it was just such an overwhelming crowd too. There were recognizable faces in the crowd. Yes. And then amongst that, there were multiple other unions that were represented there. Multiple. I mean, you had RWDS or something like that. It's the retail workers. You had the communications people, the CWA. You had IATSE. You had Actors Equity. You had SAG-AFTRA. Yeah. It was a huge
Huge event.
Like, it's a huge event, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again because I think it's true. SAG-AFTRA feels like the first big domino to fall in what could be a general labor strike in the country.
Yes.
One of the things that I believe Bryan Cranston said
Yes, today he was so great, by
he
the
was
way.
so great. He's the first video that I'm uploading to TikTok because he was
Heisenberg.
given such fire. Was just about how, like, there essentially it was like there's more of us than there are of them, and like we outnumber them in multitudes. And so maybe this wasn't Bryan Cranston anyway, when the labor comes together, they have no productivity, and that is what their giant enormous salaries are dependent on. So once you take that away, they don't have anything. Another thing that someone had mentioned, and I'll have a refresher on the ones that we post on the TikTok too, is that, like, these are kind of no longer movie studios. These are tech companies that are like tech bro run. And I just finished watching Hollywood on Netflix, the Ryan Murphy thing that came out a couple years ago. I rewatched the whole thing because I it's just like such a delightful, delicious, like Technicolor, beautiful, kind of campy,
as most Ryan Murphy things
what
are.
if story, exactly. But the Patti LuPone thing where she takes over the studio, and it's like it's about the picture, and it's about doing the right thing, and it's about putting out the good piece of art versus just like these fluff and trash movies. On what little I know of behind the scenes and behind closed doors, I feel like we've lost that. We don't have it because they are these tech companies.
Right. I think the issue is like there's just such, like, that's what that is. It's like a disconnect. It's like the creativity, not to say his name again, but like Bob Iger back in the day of Disney's heyday, he was about the creativity. He was trying to do, the 90s Disney like extravaganza. And it's just a shame because it's almost like you're seeing it more and more of like the dehumanization of artistry, and them more looking towards like a bottom line that's like a algorithm based, when in reality it's like it's really factual. And I believe this: if you made good things, which obviously when things really pop off for what they do, like even right now, I don't want to go into any films that are right now as per strike, but things are popping off, certain things, because they're good quality things, things that popped off before. Yes, there's like a lot of reality trash that's enjoyable, but for the most part, when things really, really pop off, they're really well curated and well written and well created. And when they don't have any of those things, also, like, honestly, dude, if they had, I hate that some of the articles, which are obviously run by the AMPTP because they run those news organizations. I mean, it's like, hello, we've talked about this before, ABC, Disney, MSNBC, blah, 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 Fox, Hitler, just like those kind of, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to read those articles and get literally anything out of it, but I am going to know that they are that scared that they're just doing like random pieces just to make sure we think that like they have so much in the back burner that they're just going to release. Cause like, honestly, y'all, you did that over COVID and it wasn't good. You barely could make it. And if it was good, you would have already released it because y'all just want to make money. You don't care about the quality. That's my thing. If you cared about the quality, like, my God, but they don't. So the fact that we haven't seen, good luck on your back burner. Good luck on all the stuff that you have in the vaults. They must be really bad for you not to release them. So good luck. But I thought every single guest, I mean, we had like so many people. Oh my God, Steve Buscemi killed me. I was like, yes.
Steve Buscemi killed me. Titus Burgess singing his face off was amazing. I was hoping and praying that Brendan Fraser would have said something. I was so glad he was there. I just wanted to hug him. He just has one of those faces that I just want to hug. I love him so much. But it was truly an A-list lineup up on that stage. There was Vanessa Williams, you had Rachel Ziegler, you had Melissa Joan Hart, which was amazing.
I know she follows me on Twitter.
Yes. Did I say Vanessa Williams? I'll say it again. Vanessa Williams.
Michelle
Christine
Hurd
Baranski.
Yeah.
It was Jessica Chastain was up there. BD Wong was up there. Quentin Tarantino was up there.
Yep.
It was quite the lineup, and visibility is so important for stuff like this too, because like, yes, the labor strike and membership is important, and of course like numbers, strength, all of that, but when you have faces of Hollywood showing up and taking a stand and saying this is wrong,
Yes.
that gives us boosted visibility in the trades.
Yes. And also, like, because they're the faces of actors, they're the faces of artists that we all recognize, and they're in this union. So they have just as much stake in the game as we do. I know that they have a different probably thing to sit on while things aren't happening. But I just want to say, I mean, it's like, it's such a great show of solidarity again, to just see these people, not just on stage, like you were saying, but like also in the audience, like you were
In the
saying.
crowd,
Like, there were
yeah.
people, I was like, hey, Boo from Marvel. I don't want to drop names, but like, I was like, hey, Boo Boo Kitty. And like, hey, Sarah, I saw you cock at a cot, the strike line. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, Leah
like,
Delaria, she started out
yes.
down front, and they brought her up, but she was like 3 or 4 people in front of me. I was like, oh, hey, Leah
There were
Delaria, love
so
her.
many well-known actors and actresses that were just there cheering and giving it their all. And I mean, we ran out of signs. That's how many. I mean, we made so many signs. They were out.
Yeah.
T-shirts like ran out. I mean, it was incredible. Like, we really had a lot of stuff. I mean, I didn't do this, but staff did it, prepared, and still
That's
ran
amazing.
out.
Yeah.
So that's just a sign of like how many people showed up. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's so many people.
I love that. From your standpoint, because I know you were a little further in the back doing
Sure.
your work
Mhm.
and captaining and all that,
Mhm.
but did you have like a moment that stuck out for you during the entirety of the day, whether that was during setup, that was a conversation you had, that was something you heard or saw? Was there something that kind of like maybe gave you hope, or gave you kind of like a warm fuzzy feeling?
So many moments. I loved Michelle Hurd
Oh my
speech
God, yeah.
talking about Snoop Dogg. That was awesome. She just quoted him. I mean, she does it right. Plus, she's a friend of mine, so I just really love watching her do her thing. It's just impressive to see these people that I've been sitting on the board with, or I've acted with, repeatedly, to see them on the stage standing up for everyone. It's like that I don't know how to describe it. It's like that feeling when you have like really dope friends, but you really don't know how dope they are until the chips have fallen. It's like interesting to watch these people that I've known for a long time, that on set or off really show up and really speak their mind. So Michelle Hurd was touching. I mean, Bryan Cranston got me. And then I just
Oh
have
my
a
God,
thing
yeah.
for Steve Buscemi. Like, I just love him so much.
I
And the
love
fact
him
he's
so
like,
much.
I loved when he said, I'm not on social media. So
Right.
I'll
He's
be
like, I'll text you all of these photos.
I'll text you these photos. Just text them to me. I get your numbers. It's fine. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. And
No.
that gave me a warm fuzzy feeling. And then looking out over the crowd, because then I got to step back, whenever I was like, all right, I'm stepping back a little bit to like survey, go backstage and see how everything's going. And just the sea of humans wearing SAG-AFTRA verbiage. I just have never seen anything like that, because I've never been in a strike before, as you know, because we weren't old enough
we
to
weren't
be involved.
alive.
Yeah, we were either alive but too young, and I wasn't in the union yet for the commercial one, or like
Right.
this one specifically, I was not alive. So it's like,
Yeah.
that really got me, was like hearing like some really great music like blasting, and people be like, we're not gonna take it anymore. And like, it was just
That was cool. Yeah.
just a vibe.
I think
How
what
about
you're
you?
thinking about is the Snoop Dogg quote where it was like, "Where the fuck is the money?"
Yeah.
I think that
Facts.
was Liza Colon-Zayas from
Oh,
The
that's what it was.
Bear, but Michelle Hurd also had a really great quote from Malcolm X, I think.
That was what she did.
There were so many. She made a joke of it, or I think it was her or the other woman that was hosting the day, that was making a joke about how everyone was saying like, in the words of, and everyone was quoting famous people and other rights movements. Yeah, it was such a great, oh God,
It was
what a
unifying.
great, yeah, it really was. And it's funny, on I was on the Cape this weekend, and just like a really quick cheap little trip up to the beach to see Brooke and Jersey Boys, and on the way back we were listening to Ragtime. And there's that whole labor movement within the show of Ragtime, and Younger Brother has this song that he sings called "The Night That Goldman Spoke" in Union Square, and it's this protest rally. And I just kept hearing it in my head like over and over again, thinking like, we look at that time in history of like this grand epic like historical moment, and we look back at it, gives me chills just thinking about it. And to be a part of that, to be standing amongst people that are doing the same thing 100+ years later, still asking for the same shit. You know, like, it's great that it's happening. It's great we're doing it. It's necessary. But why? Like, why? We're talking
Why do
like,
humans keep doing this to each other?
right, we're talking like early 1900s, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the end of the Gilded Age. You know, and there were these protests with Emma Goldman in Union Square that were for the labor workers who were asking just for fair pay. And, you know, then again, we talked about Newsies, you know, like my thing right now is that Newsies, Ragtime, and Hairspray all need to be revived on Broadway, like right now. But
the world will know.
the world will know. And it's just, I highly, if you don't know Ragtime, listen to it. I highly encourage you to listen to Union Square song. It's incredible. But it just really was that moment standing there, not even just because of the famous people and celebrities, but the movement of the labor body that was there with their signs and yelling and music and everything else. And it just had this moment where it was like, there will be television and musicals written about this time.
Yes.
Inevitably, whether it's 100 years from now, whether it's 10 years from now, we are standing on the ground at the same time as all of these other people who are being a part of a historical moment.
Correct. I mean,
it just feels so volatile.
It does. It feels volatile. I mean, and it's also like, you know, history's cyclical. So of course we're back here. It's just unfortunate that like it keeps happening. You'd think we'd learn. But that's the unfortunate that's the unfortunate thing about being dead. All those people are dead that we're doing that stuff. So unfortunately we forget and we come back to this place. I just don't understand humans like that, like that do this to people. But it is greed. It's all money based. It's all a bunch of like you know, corporate greed. And so I think what's wonderful right now is it's so obvious who the good guys are and who are the terrible, awful, money grabbing, horrible, abusive groups. And we know who those are, you know? So
the Hollywood Reporter, it's funny you say that because the Hollywood Reporter has a piece on by Bob Iger that says unpacking Bob Iger's terrible, horrible, no good PR week. So you saying that, I was like, oh, I just saw this headline.
I keep telling I'm like gonna at Disney. I'm like, get that man in a room, lock the door, like let's have a kiki, like lock the door.
Lock the door tight.
This man is not helping any of you. He's sounding so dumb right now. Like just let it be, bro. Like stop speaking. Like I mean, keep speaking because you look like an idiot, but like it's just like, bro, you're not even saying anything that's worth listening to. It's just weird. It's fucking weird.
I'd be really...
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Another heartwarming thing that I really felt was a lot of people that I recognize coming up to me who recognize me from like whether it's acting, but also the picketing that we've been doing and the captaining that I've been doing. It was very heartwarming to hear them go, I just want to thank you for your service because I'm seeing you and it's really just da da da. It just really touched me. Like I would just be like, yeah, and they're like, oh my God, yes, there, oh my gosh, you know, and I was like,
well, you're killing it. I mean, you were on New York One. You're all over the place in the press for all of this shit. And you were just given like the kickity-ka breakdown, you know, like given the strike line captain jig. It's great.
It's giving captain. It's giving strike.
It's giving
you know, when I was backstage, I had a couple like people that were speaking that came off and they're like, oh, captain. I was like, that's Captain Seeds for you. They're like, oh shit. So, you know, Captain Seeds is coming through.
We're gonna have to write another series for you. Captain Seeds.
Yeah, Dr. Seeds, Captain Seeds.
Picking in the strike line with Captain Seeds.
Notary Public, Captain Notary Public Seeds. Bodega Runner Seeds. Yeah, all the things. Oh
my God, you're like the living Barbie. Right? With all the jobs.
Love that. Love having a barb job. But yeah, dude, that was just fascinating. And was there anyone, I mean, so we had a different experience. So when you arrived, like, of course it was chaotic, of course it's crazy, but it was a good, fun chaotic. It was like everybody was just so excited.
It was excited and everyone was like happy to be there. And it was very communal. Like, you know, I've been to a couple concerts where it's like general admission and you have to like fight your way to the front to try and get a good seat, or people are pushing you around and they're like, hey, this is my spot. And today was not like that because I certainly pushed my way up to the front. Like I got as close as I could behind the press line on the side. I think I was maybe like 10 people back on the left. And I was right next to the Independent. I was right next to a bunch of others. I don't know who they all were. But no one was rude about it, and neither was I. I wasn't like, get out of the way. It was just this very fluid kind of crowd that was like, go with the flow. Nobody cared. It was cool. My experience up there was, of course, to like capture as much as I could of it. For the social media purposes of it all, but also because, again, it's a very historical, memorable moment that I want to have like a piece of.
Yes.
And the energy of the crowd was wonderful. Despite there being a medical emergency in the back that was more closer to you. And we can talk about that too, but like up by me, it was like, everyone was sweaty and hot, but like there was enough space between everyone where it wasn't uncomfortable or chaotic in that way. And it was just very warm and inviting and hungry. We were hungry to listen to everyone who was going to speak. And there was also like this anticipation of seeing all the people on the stage that we know, love, and recognize from TV, film, and being like, oh, who's going to speak next? Like I really wanted Brendan Fraser to speak. I really wanted Jessica Chastain to, but of course we would have been there all day. But it was exciting. I felt very like in an unofficial capacity, very official being up there. And maybe official isn't the right word, maybe just like important, like not as in a selfish I'm important kind of way, but important that I was there to be part of that whole movement. And it was wonderful because I also have never been in a strike or on a picket line, and so that experience with you captaining as well is just delightful. You do such a great job at keeping everyone's energy up and keeping it going and carrying that banner. And but it was wild, and it really was. I had a thought in the middle of it when some people were talking. I was like, this must be what award shows feel like, but like really low budget.
Right. And also better jokes. I mean, like,
better jokes. I mean,
less awkward
Steve Buscemi was great.
Yeah. Less awkward pauses than award shows. Award shows are like, all right, we'll be back.
Okay, moving on. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Totally. I was really hoping that Fran would have made a surprise appearance at the end.
I know she's busy as F out in LA.
Of course she is. Yeah. But
I love seeing Duncan Crabtree Ireland. I also have a pin that says I Heart DCI, and that's him. It's great.
I love that.
It's his head on there. It's so cute. I have that one too.
Oh, he must be so tickled by that.
Yeah, no, he thinks it's so funny. Like I gave him a big hug. Let's see, like last week. And he was like, Miss Seeds. I was like, oh, Duncan, you're just killing it, man. You're everywhere. He's like, I'm trying. I was like, no, you really are.
No,
like,
he's killing it. Yeah.
He's so killing it. Well, he's so smart. It's just lovely to have him on like our side legally and negotiatively. And
I loved watching Michelle Hurd fangirl for him.
I know.
That was such a cute little moment.
I'm telling you.
She's like, I have a crush on him. A big one.
A big one.
A big one.
Yeah, he's just the best. I just think he's the effing best. I'm trying to see. I remember Stephen Lang from Avatar, the bad guy.
Oh my god, his speech was absolutely great.
Oh, he is so dope. Ugh.
He was so dope and hot.
I know.
Like, however old he is, those arms are giving. I also need to at least say this because I was thinking about this on the way home too. Ezra Knight, Ezra Knight is also very hot.
We love Ezra, Mr. President, as I call him.
Mr. President, the way he carries himself. Oh, yes.
Yeah, me and Mike were out to dinner. Honestly though, Ezra's like someone I've known for so many years, and on the New York local board and the national board. Yeah. And he's always like, Miss Seeds. Every time I Mrs. But we were out to dinner one time, me and Mike, and we were looking for the speakeasy, and like it turned out to be like literally not a speakeasy anymore. It's like just a crack den now. So we're saying, well, we're just gonna go to So we went to another place to have dinner, and there was Ezra and his wife and his kid, and we were just like, I was like, Mr. President. He was like, Mrs. So like he's just the sweetest, and he always comes to things with me. We're always like I've marched with him, picketed with him more than probably anyone. He's always the one who's like down to do it, like against like when the Met was like just taking money during COVID, the Metropolitan Opera.
Yeah.
He was there with me. Yeah, he's always there. Like he's just fantastic, and he's such a great actor, and he's such a like you said, he's just a handsome, dope, incredible person.
He really is.
Yeah, I love him. I love Ezra Knight. And so I was like, Mr. President.
Yeah, I forgot about that Met strike. And it just like, again,
It
it's
just
like,
keeps
what are these people thinking? Like, I want to see a historical record of when unions have lost
right,
negotiations and
right,
why,
right.
if that even exists, because we know that the Met strike got done what they wanted to get done. Were
Pretty
the
quick.
concessions made? Yes, but like for the most part, they got what they wanted done.
Absolutely did.
The last WGA strike, like they got
Yeah.
what they wanted too. Like, why are we even doing this? Like, why is this even a conversation? If you go up against a union,
Sorry.
you know that you're gonna get bulldozed by the union. What was that?
Truly.
It blurred out. What was that?
It was Stephen Lang. I was just finding
Oh,
photos
Stephen
of
Lang.
our zaddy, you know. Oh yeah, the dude from Succession was there. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, it's just been it was like a wild time.
Yeah, it was a wild time. It was quite the day. And not just, and like that's the, like you made the point, like not just up on the stage, but out in the crowd amongst the people,
Yeah,
like, and driving the point home
all
that, and
members.
I
That's
think
really
this
what it
was, yeah, and I think this was Stephen Lang that said this, is that like without that we're all middle class actors, like for the most part 98% of the union is working class
is. Mhm.
and goes from contract to contract to contract, but also has to supplement their income in other ways. And you posted it the other day too about Kamiko from Orange is the New Black, saying that people
Yes.
couldn't afford cabs to set, or they were bartending while they were shooting, and they were the most mega famous people on the planet because of the show, but we're still having to
Cover
keep a
their
second job.
and then
Boo.
people shame them. You know what I mean? It's like then you see somebody like bagging bags at a grocery store and you're like, what's happening to them? Are they on drugs? And you're like, no, it's because you don't pay them fucking enough.
Yeah, well, and that was I don't know if this was a publicity stunt. I didn't look too much into it, but there was a thing this week where Lana Del Rey was working at a Waffle House.
Oh, that's definitely publicity. That
It might be. I truly
I
don't
know,
know.
and I love me some Lana, but I know she probably
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
I
But
love that she worked at a Waffle House. That's
totally.
fantastic.
But the music industry is in a very similar situation
Yes.
too.
Oh, of
Like
course.
Liza had said with like where the fuck's the money, a la Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
It just is. It's such a mess. But I remember years ago, and I don't remember if I've said this on here before, but I've definitely talked about this recently. Years ago over Christmas, my friend Brian had texted me. He's like, dude, I'm working at the Christmas markets in Columbus Circle. And he's like, there's the dude from Blue Bloods working here. And I was like, what? And I just thought, like, what is wrong with this picture? And I mean, this was probably like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And little did I know, like how bad it had really gotten, where someone on a show like that would have to work on like at a Christmas market
Oh
to
my
make ends
God.
meet, and like that's not a unique story. And
No.
like if it's going as far back as Orange is the New Black, then like,
It's been gone.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
been
bad.
So, I mean, bottom line is it was such a great day. I'm so glad you came. It was so fun.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying myself here.
Yeah.
I really am. And the one guy that was at 30 Rock with us the other week,
Yeah.
the taller guy,
Yeah.
I went to scan in as a guest, and he was like, "Wait, aren't you a SAG member?" And I was like, "Well, one day."
You and Michael Avaje are the only like you've been to so many things and pickets. They're just like, wait, they're not in work.
I
Okay.
mean, like, let him think it. Like, that's
Yeah,
fine
let
with
them
me.
all think that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what,
because
give them that.
it would be something I'd be proud to be part of. Like my experience with unions has not been positive, and that's a whole different, longer conversation for another time. But it really is something that I want to see succeed and be a part of, because of what I want to do with my life. And for me to not show up is counterproductive to my end goals. And so anyone who is not a member or is an eligible member, I would say, come.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the end goal, why not start being a part of it now? You don't need to wait to have a little card in your
100%.
pocket to do anything.
I agree with this 100%. I was always getting involved as much as I could even before I was a member, because it was just like it was not only a dream to be one, but it was also like, these are the people that are going to take care of me the rest of my life. They have to be doing it right. And I want to make sure it's going right. I want to help, Also want to do a shout out to Rebecca Damon. She's on staff, but she's the former New York president, and her vice was Ezra. before she moved on to become on the other side of the table. So Rebecca Damon is my mentor. She's the one who got me into this whole thing. Also Jim Kerr, shout out to Jim Kerr. He's a famous DJ, he's amazing. He's I'm just really excited to see him come out, because he's every morning he's like on Q 107.3, the rock, whatever. He's always killing it. So it's just great to see all my mentors, and again, people I've acted with and worked with, or like even on socials, like Vinny Pastore, you know, from Sopranos, is a friend of mine, and he's just always like solid, union solid. I always see him union solid. He's always like that, and he's all the way out in, you know, Long Island.
I love that, union solid.
Union solid, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I love when he, for Halloween, when he was the gabagool, you know. But anyway,
oh my god,
love him. But yeah, I'm interested. I can't wait to see him at one of the things too, because we've sat on the board together too, and we've done movies together, like 2 or 3 of them. I love him. But yeah, overall, I'd say today, to wrap it up, I think today went extremely well, and I'm excited to see what they say about it. And I'm also excited that you got so many clips that I didn't even get to see. I can't wait to watch them on our social at I Want to Be a Rich Bitch B. Right? I Want to Be a Rich B.
I Want to Be a Rich B.
B. Sorry, B. Just B.
Yes. It's some good footage. I'm happy with it. I was nervous because I had my headphones plugged in. I was using that microphone, and so I was like, please God, come out correctly. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it would be a good end to just say, like, get involved regardless of your union status. This is such a pivotal time. This will be written about, this will be in history books. Like, it's just such a moment, if you will.
Yeah.
And if you have questions on how to get involved specifically, reach out to Sarah. She's the point person to do that. And of course, SAG-AFTRA-strike.org for official information on what is going on.
Yes, please be part of the solution, and that's the best we can do. And yeah, join us. Let's make this world better for artists.
And don't scab, because then you're part of the problem.
Yeah, don't be like that. Don't be that bitch. And put the money on the table.
You're so rich.
Pay me.